local elections, but it would just apply to the city of Lowell. And we would essentially be exempting ourselves with the blessing of the legislature from the requirements of current state law as it applies to the voting age for local elections.
One other question. Would a 17-year-old who is able to vote in Lowell, would they also be able to run for public office?
That was not a question that I had ever researched.
Well,
wasn't anything that was...
The legal counsel at the Secretary of State's office told me there's a legality that has to be addressed. So, I mean...
The issue that the council voted on in the Central Law Department was a fairly narrow one, and that was simply, in local elections, can the law be changed to include, said it would lower the voting age to 17-year-olds. If the council wished, the law department could research the remaining issues as well that may or may not go along with that. But as far as the narrow issue, that's all that was looked at.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I just want to say that the greatest expression of democracy is the right to vote. And I remembered when Africa had much unrest in that nation, and they did get the right to vote, and they held a special election. And when we have a special election, it takes a day. The majority of people that wanted to vote in Africa, the lines were over the hills and valleys and around the bend and here and there, and it took them 3 days to finish voting. So what does that tell you? It tells you that that's a piece of democracy that is so sacred, in my opinion. And I take you back to the old adage that says, nothing ventured, nothing gained. We could sit on our hands and do nothing, or you can move yourself to, like you did here tonight, and then, as Councilor Murphy said, if it is required by the state to make that decision, instead of sitting here, you can sit down there and do your job down there as you have done over here. I'm very, very proud of you. I want you to know that in the 20s, there's these 2 words called women's suffrage. That meant that women did not have the right to vote. So I wasn't around then, and neither were you. I'm sure we wouldn't have let that happen, right? So that's a good thing. So having said that, I would like to make the motion that we adopt and support the recommendation of the motion that Patrick Murphy brought forward, and bring that up for the full council to adopt the home rule petition and amend the law. We can amend laws. We can do that all the time. We have variances. It's called that rules are in place, but we have variance that amends the laws. Nothing is actually black and white. There's a little gray areas, and you can do that. So that's what we're doing here tonight, and that motion stands.
I'll second the motion. I suspect that what we need to do is to have a request of the city solicitor, or through the city manager, maybe that the city council ask the city manager to have the solicitor prepare a proper home rule petition. Madam Solicitor.
Question on that. Well, I suppose one of the issues that the council as a whole has to decide is, will this be a home rule amendment that will take effect on passage, on vote of the council for acceptance after the legislature presumably is finished with the basic language, or is this something that also is going forward on local acceptance? So that would be a question that I would ask that get resolved.
Yeah, good point. My personal preference is that there be a local acceptance, but I would leave that up to a vote of the full council as to whether they want that in there. Council Mercy.
Yeah, I kind of asked for a local acceptance as well. That would probably be the best thing. But you would draw the proper vote and bring it back at a later time, because you couldn't do that this evening. The chair will give the report of progress of this meeting that took place. You will then come back with a prepared vote.
It would be on for the next council
meeting,
right?
Which would be the 14th, December 14th. Sure, that's fine.
Okay, so I guess the motion is to adopt, approve the motion to lower the legally lower the voting age to age 17 for municipal elections. And the question of whether there be local acceptance or not would be open to discussion by the full council at the meeting. Is that okay? All right, so all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, so the motion carries. And so for those of you who don't follow parliamentary procedure every week, what that means is at the full South Council meeting that will convene at 6:30, we will vote to adopt this home rule petition, given the nature of the discussion it's likely to pass here at the City Council. The open issues are whether this will be adopted by the state legislature, and then whether or not it will have to go to a vote, a citywide vote of everybody in the city to approve that. So that second issue will be debated by the full council at the meeting at 6:30, and then the final version will be voted next week, forwarded to the legislature if passed. So thank you all for your participation, and you're welcome to stay for the full council meeting if you so desire, and welcome to participate in the rest of the subcommittee meeting if you desire to do that as well.
Thank you.
And if I might add, Mr. Chairman, to all the students that are here, you don't have to be a voter to come up here at any time of the year to express your opinion. I had a group of youngsters that were like 10 and 12 years old that were following me around while I was campaigning many, many years ago. And I talked to them and I said, why are you following me? They said, because we know you're a city councilor and we want a skateboard park. Would you bring that message up for us? I said, I would, on one condition, if you come and help me, because I can't do this alone. I need your help. I said, if you want it bad enough, you're going to come up here and you're going to ask for it. I'll be guiding you, but you got to do that. We have 3 skateboard parks in the city, not because of me or any of my colleagues, but because 10 and 12 years old had the courage to come up here and ask us to do that. So you don't have to be a voter to come up here on any given issue and tell us what you'd like to see or offer a suggestion, because it isn't about us. If you think you're 17 and you want to run for the council, then prove that your work is worth it and get up here and tell us what you want the city to look like and what you request of us. It's not our building, it's everybody's building, and there's no requirements to age, because I wouldn't want to see a vote that says a 65-year-old woman can't serve on the city council anymore.